Have you ever prayed for something, like really prayed, and you felt like God didn't even hear you? Maybe you were praying for healing, for a breakthrough, for something in your life to change, and then nothing happens. It's just silence. It's like your prayers are hitting the ceiling and bouncing right back to you. And if you've been there, if you are there right now, I just want to say, you're not alone. You're probably not even doing anything wrong. You see, I've had seasons like that in my life where I felt like God is nowhere to be found. And in today's video, I want to talk about that. What do we do when it feels like God isn't answering our prayers? Now, I don't have a simple fix or a perfect explanation, but I do want to walk with you through it. And I want to share a few things that have helped me hold on to faith when God feels silent. So let's dive in. The first thing I've learned is that God's silence isn't his absence. Just because you don't hear from God doesn't mean that he's not there. You see, some of the most faithful people in the Bible experienced long seasons where God seemed silent. I mean, think about Job. He lost everything. He cried out in confusion, and God said nothing, at least for a while. And when God did respond, he didn't explain himself. He reminded Job of who he is, essentially saying, you don't see what I see. You see, in God's silence, he's not ignoring you. He might be doing something you just can't see yet. And his silence might actually be him working on something deeper in you. The reality is our point of view is limited. We can only see what's right in front of us, but God sees the entire picture, and he's working in ways that we cannot see or understand on this side of heaven. And God is with you even though you might not feel it. And faith is trusting God's heart when you can't trace his hand. And the second thing that I've learned is that we should keep praying honest prayers. I know when it feels like God isn't answering your prayers, you might want to just throw in the towel, just quit. It can feel pointless, but that's the moment where we need prayer the most. Not the polished spiritual sounding kind of prayer, but the honest, the real, the raw kind. David models this for us all throughout the Psalms. In Psalm 13:1, he says, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?" Listen, that's an honest prayer. And that's what God is after. He wants your heart, not your perfect words. He can handle your frustration, your disappointment, and even your anger. When you give it to him, we're giving him our heart, and he starts mending it. So don't stop. Even if all you can manage is, God, I don't understand. I don't get it. That counts. He wants that kind of prayer. And the next thing you should do when God feels silent is let people in. When God is quiet, the temptation for us is to withdraw, to isolate, to pull away from people, to hide the fact that we're struggling. And this is one of the biggest temptations I face. I withdraw not only from God, but from others. And I think this is Satan's goal. He wants to isolate us so he can pounce. So we must fight this urge because you were never meant to go through life alone, especially the hard seasons. Jesus had people around him when he was hurting. Even in the Garden of Gethsemane, he brought his friends with him, even though they fell asleep on the job. And the reality is you need people in your life who will listen to you, who will walk with you, who will carry you, and who will pray for you. The burden that you are carrying is too much for one person. So let somebody in. Be honest. Say, I'm praying and I feel like nothing's happening and I don't know what to do. Let them remind you of who God is when you forget. And the next thing you should do is preach the gospel to yourself. When your prayers go unanswered, it's easy to start believing lies. God doesn't care. I'm not enough. Maybe he's punishing me. That's why you've got to preach to yourself the truth every single day. Not your feelings, not your circumstances, but God's truth. Remind yourself of who God is, of what he's done, and of who you are. Preach it to yourself until it sinks in deep. John Piper, he once said, Preach his word into your mind until your heart sings with confidence that you are new and cared for. And listen, that's what we've got to do daily. Get alone with God and remind yourself that he hasn't left you, that he is good, and that you are still his. And the next thing that we should do when God feels silent is check our motives. And listen, this might sting a little bit, but it's important. James 4:3 says that when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives. Now let me be clear. This isn't saying that asking God for help is wrong. He wants you to ask your questions, to present your needs. But sometimes what feels like a God-sized request is actually a me-sized desire. When our prayers go unanswered, when my prayers go unanswered, what I've learned is I need to pause and ask, is this about me? Am I trying to control something? Do I want what's easy, or do I want what God actually has for me? Sometimes God doesn't answer our prayers because he's trying to reshape our hearts, not just fix our problems. And the last thing that we should do when God feels silent is to trust his timing. And this is probably the hardest part, at least it is for me, because I want things to happen on my time and in my way. But the reality is, God isn't on my schedule, and he's not on your schedule either. And while that's hard for us sometimes, I've learned it's actually a good thing. Because remember, God sees things we cannot see. He understands things we do not understand. His ways are higher than ours. And if we always got what we wanted when we wanted, we'd find ourselves in trouble. Isaiah 55:8 reminds us that God's ways are higher than ours. His timing is better than ours. And I've had prayers that went unanswered for years, some that are still unanswered. But looking back, I can see that waiting was actually part of the shaping that God was putting me through. He was doing something in me, not just for me. Is he waiting? Doesn't mean God's forgotten you. It might mean that he's preparing something in you that's better than you can imagine. So, if you're in one of those seasons where you're asking, God, why aren't you answering this prayer? Where it feels like God is silent, I want to leave you with this. God is still listening. He still sees you. He still loves you. And his silence isn't the end of your story. And I might not know exactly what you're going through, but I do know that he's not abandoned you. And that one day, maybe not today, maybe not this year, but one day you'll look back and you'll see his hand guiding you through it all. And until then, I want to encourage you, I want to challenge you, keep praying honest prayers, stay connected with community, preach the gospel to yourself, check your heart, and trust his timing, because he's with you, he loves you, and he's not done with you yet. And if you've ever felt like God hasn't answered your prayers, I hope that this video gave you some clarity, or at least reminded you that you're not alone. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been through a season like that? What did you do that helped you get through it? Drop a comment down below. I read every single one. And if you want to dig deeper into what Jesus says about the good life, I've put together a free 10-day devotional on the Beatitudes. And it's all about how Jesus redefines what a blessed life really looks like. And it might just be what you need right now. You can grab it by clicking the link in the description below. And if this video encouraged you, hit that subscribe button. I post every single week to help you better understand what the Bible says and how you can live it out in your everyday life. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.